I've always been quite good at maths and physics, which always leads you to kind of think of a career in engineering. I actually took a year at A-levels doing just completely random subjects, and I dropped out halfway through. And then after that, I sort of really sat back and sort of thought, what do I want to do with my life? What am I good at? What do I enjoy? And like I say, I've always been good at maths and physics, and that led me to taking an engineering course at college, which then led me on to university and led me to the job I have now. I've always sort of, like I say, been interested in maths and physics, but also taking things apart. I think pretty much any engineer you ask, especially electronics ones, will say that they used to take apart calculators or, computers or anything like that. And it's completely true, because we've all done it, if you know what I mean. So, you see kids growing up nowadays, if they start doing that, push them into a career in electronics, I think there are a number of initiatives run in the UK now which are pretty good at pushing people into engineering, whether they be things like STEM clubs or, code clubs, things like that. There's a huge network of STEM ambassadors that sort of go out to school and get people into not just engineering, but all the sciences. I'm also quite heavily involved with First Lego League, so I coach a First Lego League team, getting them to program sort of Lego robots. And these kids, they're like 8 years old or something, and you've already got them sat down programming, working out all these different logic statements and things. And the annoying thing I find about doing that is I'm always just very jealous that I never had those kind of opportunities when I was a kid. But it's nice to sort of help them and do those events with them as well. I started last year, so I coached the team last year, and we're currently at my work, we're running our own sort of Lego League, and then I should hopefully be coaching a school again this year. So I'm mentoring a school for our sort of my works Lego League, and then I'll be mentoring a team again for the full-on proper official Lego League as well. My dad was a chemist, not a pharmacist, but an actual chemist, and he always not really pushed me, but always had a bit of an interest in science and things. So he'd take us to the science museums and things like that, and natural history museums. Always got me interested in just sort of learning for the fun of it. And I had a very good physics teacher at school, I should say, high school. And his name was Mr. Powell. I don't know his first name, but he was really good at sort of pushing me towards physics, because I think he worked out that was something I was quite good at, and he really wanted me to sort of go into a career in that. And I enjoyed his lessons the most, and I guess that's one of the things that pushed me towards a career in engineering. Kids get introduced to electronics ever so early with things like iPads and phones and things like that, and I think that works in sort of two ways. So I think there'll be a subset of people who will be really fascinated with how these things work, and they'll want to go out and sort of work in this sector. But it's also the fact that these new devices are harder to take apart. It's harder to sort of like just figure out what's going on, and I think maybe people will just accept that's the way these things work, and maybe it won't work in the same way. But I think with this sort of push towards like STEM events and code clubs and things, I think there's definitely at least more opportunities for kids to pique their interest, or to, get involved with electronics at a much earlier age. I didn't start programming till I went to university, and now you have like 8-year-olds or younger programming and learning all these different things. I mean, if that doesn't inspire some of them, I don't really know, but I would suspect it does.